And we'll bring our audio up. We'll bring our audio up. All right. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. And today, we are going to be actually starting up a different thing. My kids like to play games, too, with me sometimes. So that's what we're doing right now. We're going to play a game, and Addie is going to be the one that is playing with me today. At least we're going to make a character up and let him play a little bit. You guys will get to see. So, all right, Addie, let's see what the first thing we're going to do is.
I'm a fox.
Yes, you said you wanted to play.
I'm an adorable little comfy fox.
He has said that he does want to play a Kitsune. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there right now.
It's not a Kitsune, it's a fox.
Kitsune is the playable fox race. First thing we're going to do is roll for stats.
Okay.
That seems to be a good place to start. So that's what we're going to do. So we're doing 4d6. Drop ones. Pardon me. 4d6. Re-roll any ones and arrange them the way you want. We'll probably roll 7 times and take the best of the 7. So, go ahead and roll. You've got 6, 3, 4, and a 1, so re-roll the 1.
4.
Another 4. Alright, so add these up for me.
Okay. 14.
14. So we're just going to stick it right up here at the top of the page for a second. This will be in podcast form. There'll be a little bit on the YouTube, but it's mainly just going to be a little bit of visuals and stuff like that. So we'll just have to make do with what we get on that. You won't be able to see the actual character sheet unless we do a digital one later on. We may convert it to digital and just let you guys look at it. If he gets to be a popular character, we might just convert it over to a Mythweaver sheet and let you guys adapt it into your game. But for now, we are going to roll another stat. So,
okay.
Roll again. Looks like we've got a 1, a 1, a 2, and a 3. So re-roll both of those ones.
3, 3.
2 3s. So that means that we've got 3 3s. Get those all together for me.
That's 9.
That is 9. So we'll write that down here. Roll again.
1, 1, 6. Okay, I got 2 6s and 1 3 and 1 1.
So roll that 1 again. It's another 1. Roll it again. It's a 5. So we're going to take that out. That's almost max. So add those up for me. 6, 6, and a 5.
17.
17. So we're going to write that down. Roll again.
17 is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a 2, a 2, and a 6.
So
time to re-roll this one.
Yep.
A 2.
Another 2. Okay. So add these all together.
That is 10.
That's a 10. So that's 4 out of 7 stats that we're going to roll down. Roll again.
Uh-oh.
Has to roll in the box.
6.
So 2 6s, a 3, and a 2. So we've got a 6, 6, and a 3 added together.
Okay. 12, 1, 2, 3. That's 5. 15.
15. All right. So that's a 15. Roll again.
6, 3, 4, 4.
So that's 2 4s and a 6 that you need to add together.
That is 14.
14, and then now roll your last one. Hopefully you'll get higher than a 9 so you can replace it.
5, 3, 4, 1. That's definitely higher than a 9.
So roll that 1 again.
4.
A 4. So you've got 5 plus 4 plus 4. What's that going to be?
13.
Alright, so 5, 9. Yes, 13. Okay, so obviously we're going to drop the 9 and use that 13. And then let's see. We're going to assign these later when we find out what he wants to do. So if you're playing a game with kids, this is a way that you can do it with them. This is how I do it with my kids. First thing we do is roll stats. Sometimes they'll know what they want to play, sometimes they don't. He was looking through my books before, and he decided that he wanted to play a Kitsune. So
Fox!
It's a fox race, is the Kitsune race. So that's what we're going to look at first. We're going to go over to the Kitsune, and the way that we do it, or at least that I'm going to do it, is I'll be filling out the sheet with him so that he can see where things are, but they can get into the right spot to be sorted out too. So let's go over there. And I'm getting over there, and there they are. For those that are wondering why I am taking so long to talk about it, it's because I'm finding it on the D20 PFSRD. We are showing that for people that do watch, so they can kind of see us create. So where did that go? Kitsune. There it is. Uncommon races. So we will open that up, and let's see what's going on.
That's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words.
A lot of words.
So
a lot of that stuff.
Yes. A lot of words going on, but that is not a big deal. So let's see. There it is. So the Kitsune, or the fox folk, are vulpine shapeshifters known for their love of both trickery and art. Kitsune possess two forms. That of an attractive human of slender build with salient eyes, and their true form of an anthropomorphic fox. Despite an irreprehensible penchant for deception, Kitsune prize loyalty and make true companions. They delight in the arts, particularly riddles and storytelling, and settle in ancestral clans, taking their wisdom from both the living and spirits. Quick-witted and nimble, the Kitsune are excellent bards and rogues. It is not uncommon for one to pursue sorcery, while those few born with white fur and pale eyes usually become oracles.
What are oracles?
They are a type of spellcaster, a divine spellcaster. So gods grant them certain types of gods grant power to them. So, first off, for this Kitsune, we need a name. So, have you thought about a name or anything?
Moon.
Moon? You want to name the Kitsune Moon?
Yeah, like in the real moon.
Okay, well, that's one part of his name then. Most people have more than one name, but we can start with that, and you might think of something to go along with it later if you want. So first thing we're looking at, Kitsune are standard racial traits. They get ability scores, a +2 to their charisma and dexterity, but a -2 to their strength. So I'm just going to note that on the side before we do our calculations. So on the side of the character sheet, I will write that down before we jump in and get going.
Light.
Light what?
The name part.
Moonlight? Well, we'll see. You can come back to it and think on it. You don't have to name it all right now. Just giving him a name. So Moon is where we'll start off, and you can think about more or less later. Their size is a medium creature, so on your character sheet, sometimes they have a size category. You would put it right here, medium or MED, however you want to do that. The gender is going to be male. And
Boy.
how old do you want him to be? You want him to be kind of young, kind of old? They age the same way as humans, so how old do you want him to be?
8.
You want it to be 8?
Yes.
Okay. You want him to be an 8-year-old kitsune?
Uh-huh.
I suppose we can do that. I will apply the young template later. Which you can do. Not all the stuff has to be done, with kids especially, not all the stuff has to be done right away.
I'm 8 years old.
So, we may apply the young template and we may not. We'll just see. We'll just see. But, let's keep moving. Probably won't, but let's keep moving. Size is medium, like we said. The type is a kitsune. They are humanoids with a shape changer subtype, so that may be something that come up. There's not always a place for that, so we're just going to put it humanoid underneath the race, kind of really small, / shape changer.
So I can change my shape?
Yes, you have 2 forms. You have a human form and a kitsune form.
I want to be human form and kitsune.
Yes, you have both. You have the change shape ability.
So I can turn into a human and I can turn back to my normal form?
Yes, that's what kitsune can do.
So I'm going to freak people out by turning into a human and going into it and turning into a kitsune and start roaring at them.
I'm not sure that
What?
will work out for you, but we will see.
I think they just started shooting at me.
Kitsune have a 30-foot move speed, so we'll just place that there under 30. And we're doing this in Theater of the Mind, so it's not necessarily going to come into play, but we will note that down because it might. And that would be that would be 6 squares on a grid. Kitsune have the languages. I am of the opinion that Common and Sylvan is fine, but they can also have other languages based upon where they're from. If you want, you can look at Black Dragon Gaming. I have similar beliefs along with his as far as the language thing goes, because that's just how it is. If you live somewhere, you will learn the language eventually. Alright, so Kitsune are agile, so they get a +2 to their racial bonus, as a racial bonus to their acrobatics check. So we will go over under our skills. We're using Pathfinder, by the way. I didn't mention that at the front. I apologize. We're using Pathfinder. Oh, and I didn't do any of our disclaimer stuff. I'll have to record that, and we'll have to do that at all the stuff at the end. But disclaimer, this is not a podcast where there is adult language, because neither myself or my children use adult language. So, there you go.
I don't.
So, let's keep moving. Okay, agile. There we go. That's where I was.
What?
Acrobatics +2. We're gonna stick it out to the side here before we start adding things like that in. We'll put racial right there, and we'll start filling out the character sheet. And when I'm working with someone that's younger or a child, then I make a lot of notes, and I'll come back after we're all done having the fun parts and fill out all the fiddly bits of the game. So that's that. Now, magical racial traits, they have that change shape ability. So what we're going to do, we're going to put that under special abilities if you have that on your character sheet. So the change shape goes right here. Change shape. And you can make some abbreviated notes on that.
I have a loose tooth.
So that's just a +10 on a disguise to appear human. +10 disguise. It is a specific human if you look at the ability. So +5, +10 to disguise on specific human, and standard action to change. So
Me.
standard action to
Actually on.
change.
Actually on. What?
And I'm going to put as
Yes.
alter self. We'll put quotations by that because that's an actual ability that you can look at for a reference for that. Next is Kitsune Magic, and I think we're going to hold off on that one because he may take an alternate racial trait. Because when you're looking here on the PFSRD, you get basically all the rules. So this is where I would talk to him, and so you think you're going to want your low light vision. So we'll put that under
I can see in the light and in the dark, but the dark I can see in the most because I'm a fox.
Well, no, you can see in the low light. So like in moonlight, it doesn't affect your ability to hit somebody. Low light, vision.
When my skin lets off a pale look in the dark.
That's just the reflection. Do you want to have claws? I mean, a bite attack? Do you want to be able to bite somebody and do damage? Or do you want to switch that out for something?
What can I switch it out for?
Let me look here. That replaces Kitsune Magic. That replaces Agile. Alters the score modifiers. Alters the languages. Oh, it doesn't look like you can do it. We're not going to dip into third-party stuff, I don't think. So let's just... We're going to keep the natural weapon. So...
Yep. Let's keep my claws and my... I want to be able to use what I have to do. Like, I could bite, I could scratch.
Alright, so we're gonna just put natural weapon. Bite under your one of your weapon slots. We're gonna see that you get. We'll fill out the
claws.
It's a bite. It's just a bite, but you can flavor it like you're clawing them. The damage is 1d4, I believe. Yes, 1d4, and melee is the range. That would probably be a puncture weapon.
I could actually use a bow and hit them, but I don't think I could use them well because I have sharp claws. I'm gonna have to clip them.
Only one of your forms none of your forms have claws. You were just flavoring it like you have claws, so it won't affect your a bow if you want to use a bow. But you don't have to use a bow either.
I could use this orcish bow. I can use this orc bow and just get it.
All right. Now, next is we need to see if we're going to replace that magic. So Kitsune Magic functions like this. Kitsune add 1 to the DC of any saving throws against enchantment spells that they cast. That's not necessarily something that you're probably going to worry about, because are you going to cast spells with this person?
I could cast illusion, couldn't I?
Yeah, but illusion and enchantment are two different things in this game. Let me show you. Let me see what you can get.
Illusion.
Instead of that.
Illusion.
All right. So for Kitsune Magic, you can get duplicitous, which makes you better at lying and disguising yourself. You can get a fast shifter, which you can shift between your human and regular form, your human and kitsune form, as a move action instead of a standard, which can help.
That.
Then there's let me make sure. And then there's Superior Shapeshifter, which some Taladin Kitsune take more naturally to shapeshifting as a developed gift. They gain fox shape as a bonus feat at first level, ignoring its prerequisites, and this replaces Kitsune Magic. So,
Second.
You want Fast Shifter to change faster into your Kitsune form, or do you want to be able to change into a fox, an actual fox?
Actual fox.
Okay, so here's what here's what fox shape says. You can take the form of a fox whose appearance is static and cannot be changed each time you assume the form, so you change into the same fox each time. Your bite attack's damage is reduced to 1d3. On a hit, you get a plus 10 racial bonus to disguise checks made to appear as a fox. Changing from Kitsune to fox is a standard action, just like regular, and otherwise it functions as a beast shape change. So I didn't know they had that ability, so that's kind of cool. So you can change into a literal fox, or you can change faster from one form to the other. It's up to you.
Like I can change into any form I want?
No, you change into you have your Kitsune form, and then you can change into your fox form after that. So, there's Fast Shifter. You can change from your Kitsune form into your human form faster, or there's Superior Shapeshifter where you can change into a fox.
And a human?
And your human form, and your Kitsune form. But it takes a little bit longer.
Fox, even though it takes a little bit longer.
Okay, so we're going with Superior Shapeshifter. So we got Change Shape, Low Light Vision, and then we're going to put Superior Shape Shifter. And that's going to be Fox Shape as bonus feat at level 1. Okay.
Do I get money so I can buy stuff?
Yes, you will get money to buy things and do things like that. So that will be a possibility.
Do I start out with money is what I'm trying to ask.
Yes, you will start out with money.
How much money?
Don't know yet. I'm probably going to give you 1,000 to start out with. Since it's just you, I'll give you a little extra cash to start out with 1,000 gold pieces. So.
Enchanted stuff would probably cost 2,000 or something like that.
Yeah, enchanted stuff is not as cheap. Okay. Let's look down here. I don't think there's anything we need to look at for what is this? Gain once is a new magical tail. Oh, that's cool. You can get more tails as you're in your fox form.
What do you mean more tails?
You start out with one tail, but each tail gives you something else as your it's a favored class option. Not sure what that is. I'd have to look at that. We're nowhere near needing that right now.
I know.
So, let's see. What are you wanting to do? Let's pick a class. What are you wanting to do with your Kitsune?
I gave her water.
What do you want to do with your Kitsune?
I want it to be like I want it to be sneaky.
Sneaky? There's several classes that can be sneaky. There's the rogue, there's the ranger, the monk can be a bit sneaky. Anybody can be sneaky if you make them that way, but rogues, rangers, and monks are good at that. Since we're using this resource, we could also go
rogue.
Inquisitors are sneaky. Magus, I guess, could be sneaky.
Rogue.
Rogues are an option. That's like the sneaky thiefy class. The vigilante can be sneaky. I think you can build a witch where they're sneaky. Shifters are kind of sneaky if you build them that way. There's the ninja, can be sneaky.
Ninja instead.
There's also the Slayer. They can be pretty sneaky. A Brawler or a Fighter could also be sneaky if allowed to be.
I'm talking about the
Talking about...
the one before that one you said.
What? There's Ninja?
Ninja.
Okay, well, there's Ninja, there's Brawler, there's Scald, there's Slayer. All of those can be sneaky as well. The Swashbuckler can be sneaky, but he doesn't get it as a class bonus, so might not be what you want.
Ninja.
Alright, so there's Ninja, and then there's Rogue, are the most sneaky, along with Slayers.
What's the most sneaky?
Ninja and Rogue.
I like the ninjas better because they can jump off roofs, slide.
Well, you can do that. You can do that with any class. See, in the game, Ninja is just a class, and it specializes in certain things like poison use and stuff like that. So, unless you're wanting to do a lot of poisoning or do a lot of things like that, I'd probably suggest either a Rogue or a Slayer.
Ninja, because I can basically I could basically be a human. I could take off the uniform, put on the other uniform, and I could act like nothing happened there.
Okay, yeah, that's an option. But you can, I'm just saying you can do that with any class. So Ninja is fine if you want to be Ninja. It's no big deal. It's not gonna break the game or anything. So is that what you're wanting to do, or are you wanting to do Rogue? They have a similar set of skills. They both can do what you're talking about. So
Ninja.
We can go with Ninja is fine. In the setting that we're using, we can just figure that he's kind of been sneaky for a long time. He's only 8, so I don't know.
His father's been teaching him.
Yeah, you can come up with a backstory for him. Where will we put that? Oh, there's the class. So Ninja 1. Ninja/1.
Ninja, whatever's.
So that's what you're going to pick. So let's click on the Ninja and see what we've got here. And we can all add it all in.
What are my stats for the ninja?
Right in here. Well, let's look and we'll see what stats you need for the ninja. Because you're not a very strong physically, you're going to need to be depending on your sneaking a lot. So you'll probably want to pick some options for this class that will allow you to take advantage of that. First thing we need to do is check and see all the different stuff you got going on here. So ninjas get poison use at level 1, sneak attack, stuff like that. They get a key pull at level 2, along those lines. But let's look at these options. Looks like the only options are going to be third-party options. Let's look at archetypes real quick so that you can know what your options are.
What are my options?
Well, I'm looking. Oh, that didn't show much. No, that's third-party stuff. Alright, so ninjas are just ninjas in this one.
So I could have these little spiky circle things and I could just throw them?
Kind of. You can flavor them like you're throwing hard seed pods, like off of a sweet gum tree that have the spikes. Those balls that have the spikes off the sweet gum trees. Since you're nature kind of flavored as a fox. Pretty cool.
I
All right.
Ninja blades though.
So we need to decide what you're going to do with this character as far as your stats now. So you have a 15, a 13. I need to get rid of that. You have a 15, a 13, a 17, a 10, a 5, and a 14. A 15 and a 14. So the most important one to you is going to be dexterity. So that's probably where we want to put our 17, right?
I guess.
So that would go right there. So you put your 17 here, and you add a +2 because you're a Kitsune, which means that turns into a what?
A 19.
Yes, they can't hear you when you talk. Whisper.
19.
Okay.
A 19.
Okay. So that's that. You're probably going to want, let me see how this guy looks like he does. Your sneak attack's gonna be where you're getting most of your damage. So, and you get lots of skills. It looks like. So you're probably gonna want a good amount of intelligence. So let's see.
I probably want a where is it? I probably want to put the 15 in the intelligence.
The 15 in the intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
So, intelligence is how smart you are.
15.
Okay.
15.
So we'll erase the 17 and the 15. Put them both down here.
15.
All right. So that's that. So what are you thinking about the rest of your stats? Your con is how many hit points you have. You definitely want to have a fair amount of hit points.
14.
So 14 is a good idea. 14. And your a good place to put your other 14 would probably be in your strength, because you're going to lose some of your strength for being a Kitsune, because Kitsune aren't very physically strong.
Yes, because they're very thin. They're more made for dexterity.
Yes. So how about we put your 14 right there?
And -2 makes that 12.
Yes, -2 would make that 12. So since we did that, we'll put that right there. And so now all we have is a 10 and a 13.
So, which one's the best?
Well, you have your wisdom and you have your charisma. So I would probably suggest putting the wisdom to 13, and then you put your 10 in your charisma, because you have a +2 to your charisma, and that'll give you that'll give you a 12. So you'll have a positive in everything.
It's good. So, we'll do what Daddy said there.
Okay. That. So for those following along at home, the strengths run from strength down to charisma: 12, 19, 14, 15, 13, 15. So definitely a good start. We'll add the modifiers in at another time. And I probably will apply the young template to this, since the stats are looking so nice. It probably won't hurt anything to add the young template to it, which we can look at in a little bit.
Younger people have more stamina.
No, younger people have higher dexterity but lower strength and con, so it'll make it a bit more challenging for you when you play. It won't be quite as easy. You'll have to grow up. The character will have to grow up to get really good. But that also means that you can play the character a longer time if you have a specific setting going on.
And when he gets an age older, I can always get up a skill.
As you age up, you're going to reach maturity. I have to look back at the Kitsune real quick. I'll tell you. Yeah, open tab on the Kitsune. They look like they mature at age 16 to 19. 15 is adulthood. So 15 being adulthood, that means that this dude has several years to go before he becomes an adult. But it's a one-on-one game right now, so that means that we can fast forward we can go faster or slower if we want to.
So yeah.
So that's your ninja. We'll calculate up all the stuff in a minute. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and get some basic things about your class put down. So at first level, a ninja is going to have certain things going on for it. It's going to have poison use,
which is nice. Which is really, 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 really nice.
we're going to put that under here. Under special abilities. We may move this around later. Poison use, which basically means when you're trying to use poison, you don't risk poisoning yourself. So that's that. You get all simple weapons, the kama, the katana, the kasuragama, the nunchaku, the sai, the short bow, short sword, all that type of stuff right there. So you can pick out some cool stuff later.
Simple weapons.
You also get sneak attack, which we're going to put over in the attack section. And we're going to put it at the very bottom of your thing. Sneak attack. And that's going to do a d6 of damage if you can catch your opponent flat-footed. So sneak attacks do precision damage and and they are affected by critical hits. So things there are some things that are immune to it, like aeons, elementals, incorporeal creatures, oozes, protean creatures have a 50% chance of it not working, and swarms. But persistent damage, following creatures that subside do not take persistent damage, and attacks such as sneak attack. Oh, these don't take additional. Okay. People on the YouTube can see what I'm dying about. Okay, this is just mainly something that you're going to have to worry about when we get into those type of creatures. You're not very likely to face these type of creatures for a little while. So, no need to worry about that just yet. You will need to brush up on it if we ever start facing those things.
What if I have to kill my own kind?
Not likely. Not in this setting. So, let me see. That's that. Not much to add really at first level, so let's go ahead and check off those skills that are your direct skills, and we will go ahead and get this going. So acrobatics, what we're going to do is we're going to put a check in all of your skills that are, no, we don't need to roll anything, all your skills that are class skills. So you get a +3 on your class skills when you put a rank into them. So it's good to keep an idea on that. You get appraise, you get bluff, you get climb.
Yay, I can climb on things like walls.
You get craft, you get diplomacy, you get disable device, which is important for picking locks. That's what you use to pick locks. You've got disguise, you've got escape artist, you get intimidate, you get knowledge local, which is good for gathering some information, and knowledge nobility. You also get linguistics.
What are linguistics?
That's language stuff. So learning new languages as well as deciphering languages that you are in code would be linguistics. Perception, which is wisdom, which is always good to have ranks in. And perform.
It's nice.
Profession. Sense motive, which is good if you think people are trying to figure out if people are lying to you. Sleight of hand is for hiding things and stealing things.
Like you could sneak in the pocket and get it out quickly and put it in your pocket.
Stealth.
Which is really, really important.
Swim.
That's really important too.
And use magic device. Okay. So, we'll do this off camera. We will go back and put ranks into these things off camera. But that's pretty much character creation. You can go and find some items and stuff like that. But for right now, we're at 41 minutes. So let's just give people an idea of what the setting is that we're going to be going into and what they can come to expect. So I'm shifting over to the map that we'll be using. Yes, it's a hand-drawn map. No, it's not spectacular looking, but it will do. So let's look at that. As you can, we have the map here with us, and you can see it on the screen if you want to. So it shows a rather verdant land that is, it has up in its, if you're looking at it as a square map, up in the upper right-hand corner is a place called High Hill Castle. And this is where the Duke lives. Or he's more, not quite what you would call a traditional Duke. This is called the Dawnstar, the Southern Dukedom.
What's a dukedom?
The Dukedom is kind of a place that's... This particular place is a colonization from Dawnstar, which is a kingdom that's farther away in the world that you're on. But it is a place that has enough influence that it has kind of colonized this particular area. It's actually gone quite well. The Duke that is in charge of that particular area is called Duke Ferdinand Cross. He is the Duke there. His Duchess is Ferdina Strauss, and they kind of watch over this area. The Southern Dukedom is a place where pretty much any race is accepted. If you were looking at the map, there's Valley Lake, which is kind of sheltered on the north, most of the east, and most of the west side by...
It's in the mountains.
Yes, by mountains.
Yes, it's surrounded by mountains.
Almost completely, and it's that is where let me look here, a count from the elves live, and they function as kind of diplomatic. That functions as a diplomatic stop-off point from the mountain wood that is right there by that. All these trees that you can see around the mountain wood and Valley Lake are called mountain wood, and they are old, but watched over by both by elves and forest spirits, and most of the bestial races in this area come from there. So your character is probably from there, but he may be from somewhere else in this particular bit of kingdom. And that is probably pretty close to where we'll start. We'll either start in Valley Lake, which has, of course, a lake, is where... Telmorin Alpha Lilu, the main count, and his countess, Josela Ala Alpha Lilu, are the count and countess. And they have the Mountainwood Embassy is there also. For diplomatic reasons, it is there so that High Hill Castle is not the place that all those animal races have to go to do treaties and do stuff like that, so that the Mountainwood stays wild enough for them.
So, what you're saying is the tallest is Mount Doom? Mount Doom?
No, I didn't say that. But that is mainly what's going on right there. So, what are you thinking? Where do you want to start?
I want to start around Lord's Farm.
Around Lord Farm? That's
Lord's Farm.
Lord's Farm. That is just south of High Hill Castle. And
East.
No, I understand that it's east. It's southeast. Just really right close southeast of High Hill Castle and High Hill, which is the town that is there, because that is the tallest hill in the area. And Lord's Farm is where most, I should say, of the farming is done for this area, for this dukedom. aside from the farming that's done for just local people doing their own thing. So most of the trade for the for farms and stuff, for agriculture, I should say, is done in Lord's Farm. So you can start in Lord's Farm specifically, or you can start in Crosstown, which is basically in this almost the center of the map.
Well,
And it's a good place for adventurers to start because you can go to practically any 3 of the major cities, which would be which would be High Hill and High Hill Castle, the Iron Stronghold if you wanted to interact with the dwarves, which is in the middle center of the map, in the middle upper center of the map, and then Minetown is just beyond that, where most of the gnomes and Sverfneblin and dwarves and Durgard do their work.
right over west of that place.
Yes, northwest.
Yes, northwest. That town.
Or you could go all the way to Valley Lake. Or you could take the Southern Road. There's 2 Southern Roads that lead. One leads by the Cheshire Marshes, or there's another road that leads past the Dead Woods.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Dead Woods is where a bunch of undead are. It's all that stuff.
Yes.
But they can't come to the center. Only the poison can, because if they come to the center, they'll just melt in the sun.
Possibly. I have not decided on the full lore of that area, but possibly. Just directly south of Crosstown is the Dormir Mounds. Those are where a lot of ancient individuals are buried in their mounds. No one disturbs the mounds. It's very taboo to go to the mounds and start messing around. So that is something that might be an adventure hook there, but I think Crosstown would be a good place to start if you want to start close to Lord's Farm.
I want to get some crops from some food first before I go on my adventures.
Oh, you got plenty of food, yeah.
I do?
You can find plenty of food, yes, because you're going to be starting with 1,000 gold.
I forgot.
So we're going to think up a story for you on what you started off with and all that. And I think that we can let the people see this and see if they're interested. So hopefully everything has worked out where people got to see this, got to see us make stuff. We appreciate you watching, and let's go ahead and do our announcements before we sign off.
What?
So,
We're signing off already?
yes, you got to get you got to do your shopping and stuff like that. We'll do that offline. You can start working on your shopping list, stuff you want to buy, because that's not as fun for people to listen to. So let's go ahead and get our announcements done. For the IOP, for the Planar Crossroads, do remember that we have our Patreon going, and we've got 2 patrons already, and that means that we have 2 people entered into our monthly giveaways. Do keep up with those, because our monthly giveaways are something that is happening. We are doing those every month. We've already given away this year we've already given away a Hero Forge Mini, and this is February when we're recording this, so hopefully I'll get it up for you guys soon. And it is going to be a splat book of your choice. It can be from 5e, it can be from World of Darkness, it could be from Pathfinder, it could be primary Paizo or third party. It'll be up to you. It just needs to be a splat book priced purchase, so it needs to be right in that, I think they're like 14 to 15 to sometimes maybe $20 range, just depends on the splat book you're getting. So think about that. One you've been holding off to get and wanting, now's the time. Let me see. The subscriber appreciation one-shot is going to be happening soon, the one for 100 subscribers. It's going to be happening fairly soon, so you guys can get in on that if you want to. You can also... This is the new series that is coming out, so hopefully that will be interesting.
Gaming 1 and 2.
Yeah, kids gaming. We'll probably title it something more snazzy or something like that. We won't go with just kids game, but we will find something. And
Kids gaming.
and the last announcement is that we're going to be at the St. Louis Comic-Con. It's going to happen in St. Charles, right there by St. Louis. It's going to happen June, I think the weekend of the 23rd or something like that. So if you want to come to that, everybody from the IOPC will be there. Well, not everybody, excuse me. I apologize. People from both Black Dragon Gaming and the IOPC will be there, but I will be there along with Adonijah and Ileana. They will be at the con, looking around, checking things out. So if you want to see us that in person, that would be a good place. And we're also going to do some recording with Black Dragon Gaming while we're there to hopefully have a fun, different kind of video that we don't usually do, set all together and setting together and us doing either hopefully a game that we can play or something like that, as well as something with videos and such. So that should be fun. That's all the announcements that we have. So, as always, thank you for watching. Have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.